Hello, everybody, and welcome to our second ever lineup lock show. I think ever. I don't know. Maybe people were doing this before, but I never really caught wind of it. So our second one this season, and we're going to bring this to you guys through the playoffs, as I said before. Hopefully, at least once a week, but probably more. But yeah, I'm excited, man, because today I am joined by a couple of our team members with the DFS team, Mr. Arnold Cadena, which you can see his Twitter handle there on the screen, and also Jamie McGuire. I don't think it all fits there, Jamie. So sorry about that, but you can see his Twitter handle on the screen as well. But I am excited to have these guys with me. We are going to be breaking down all the late breaking news as well as some of the old news as we see fit. But we do have a couple of bits of news that we did have drop as we were about to get on here. Miles Turner has been ruled out. So we were discussing here, obviously Isaiah Jackson is one guy that I gravitate towards pretty much always, but 4,500 on DraftKings. I love him there, but Arnold, on FanDuel, he's 5,800. I mean, do you think he's a smash spot there still, or is that just too expensive?
It's Isaiah Jackson, man. You guys just got to keep rolling with that guy. That guy's going to get you a lot of points. He's going to keep on going. He's always going to be the power when it comes to, the Pacers, especially if he's coming off the bench. He's going to come off the bench because, as it looks like here, projected lineup is supposed to be with Jalen Smith instead of Isaiah Jackson.
Yeah.
He's still going to put up, 10, 8, get you a couple blocks, get you a couple steals here and there. I still see the value there, especially at 58. It's a lot different from DraftKings, obviously, but you got to run with it. You got to take every chance you can to get this guy on your lineup.
Yeah, I think especially for DraftKings for me. I mean, FanDuel. I think it's an okay price. I think it's decent. I think for me, if you're talking about Jalen Smith versus Isaiah Jackson, I think both those guys are definitely in play. But I think the higher upside is the Isaiah Jackson play because of the blocks. You agree with me on that one, Jamie?
For me, Jalen Smith is somebody he's burned me too many times. There are other people I'd rather get to. So I'm definitely with Arnold when it comes to don't overthink it on Isaiah Jackson. Get that dude in your lineup. But for me, Jalen, hopefully his rostership is up because of this. That way other people have him and they can enjoy his 18 points.
Yeah, whether Jalen Smith is starting or Isaiah Jackson starting, I think Isaiah Jackson's the way to go there. All right, the other one we have is Kelly Olynyk was ruled out as well. Kind of a big one just because they're just so thin in Utah in general because people are sitting. There's no Lauri Markkanen, obviously. So, Jamie, who are you targeting over there in Utah with Olynyk out?
Yeah, this creates some real interest in this game. I had Olynyk as a good play, but with him out, I think Ochai Agbaji just becomes all the more interesting. If he can play against the Jazz like he plays against the Kings, where he's dropped 42 and 37 DK points, then he's kind of a lock. So without Olynyk or Lauri, there's going to be a lot of shots for Agbaji. And then Walker Kessler, he's shown a lot of upside in games that Lauri's been out. He gets a lot more usage. So with those guys out, I think Walker Kessler at his price of 7,300 becomes super interesting, and he's kind of like a top 3 center for me today.
Yeah, I was really interested in Walker Kessler right when I saw the slate. I think 7,300 on DK, and on FanDuel I believe he's 7,900. So he's a very decent play. I think there's some other centers that we're going to talk about that I'm interested in. We already talked about Isaiah Jackson. There's some other guys I'm looking at as well. So I can't say I'm guarantee getting him on my lineups, but obviously Agbaji. This is a great matchup for them against the Spurs. So Agbaji's also in my pool as well. Can't fade him for sure. But another guy I'm looking at that might be a GPP play that you might want to roll out there. He's kind of not necessarily a high ceiling guy, but Juan Toscano Anderson at 3,500 was a guy I was looking at as well. He got 23 minutes in the last one. He could see 25 to 28 minutes in this one. So the minutes are there. Is the production going to be there? I don't know. Talk to me there, Arnold. What do you see with the Utah Jazz?
Yeah, I'm a huge Walker guy. I love Walker, to the moon, man. That guy's so good at his freaking game. He is 79 on FanDuel, a little bit cheaper on DK. The thing is, man, is that there's no rim protection when it comes to the Utah Jazz outside of Walker. And San Antonio, they've been kind of sneaky lately. They've been trying to win a little bit games, trying their best to kind of just make it seem like they're not trying to go for Victor. Walker's going to freaking tear them up. They also give up these, second most DraftKings points, and if we're going to be talking about FanDuel, they also give up the most. So I think that's a smash play when it comes to Walker. As far as some other guys on the Utah slate, THT, I feel like that guy's going to go kind of dumb when it comes to the point guard position. He's not really that traditional point guard that you necessarily want to run. But if you're going up against the Spurs, you have a really good opportunity to rack up those assists. You got a really good opportunity to rack up those rebounds and all the points and stuff. There's a lot of opportunity for JTA, and I think JTA too as well. But THT is definitely some guy that I'll be looking into as well, outside of Walker.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's talk about some old news here. I think we're still waiting for some stuff to drop here, but SGA out, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander ruled out. What are you looking at in this game, Jamie, while I try to get this right link out here for people?
Let's pull that up real quick. Yeah, the Pistons zombies, honestly. OKC. Haven't put a lot of time into that game just yet. So Arnold,
I can talk about it if you like. Yeah,
man. Yeah, what you got, Jamie? Or what you got, Arnold? Sorry.
Yeah, SGA out. I think just coming off rip, I love SGA. He's one of the guys that I really like this season. I loved him going in, and I still love him coming out, especially for next year. But with him being out, that means Giddey's going to get a lot of usage. Ball in hand all the time, whether it's going to be rebounding and assisting. And you saw him yesterday, or was it 2 days ago when they played last and everything? He had like 20-some points. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. Josh Giddey's a really good player. But one guy that I really enjoy a little bit more than Josh Giddey is just going to be Jalen Williams. And I'm not talking about the center. I'm not talking about the other one. I'm talking about the real one, Jalen Williams. That guy is legit. He's a legit guy. And if you're going against Detroit, man, you're going to put himself in a really good position to really take over this game. So I really like Jalen Williams, Josh Giddey. Outside of that, kind of not running anywhere else,
Yeah. I think those are the only two guys you can really trust on OKC usually. I mean, for me, I feel like the Thunder have a Jalen Williams for most improved player agenda going on, which I don't think he's going to win it, but I think I hope he does because I have like a plus, I don't know, 3,500 or something ticket on him to win.
Most improved. Most improved as a rookie?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, rookie of the year.
Right. But you said so much over the season. I was like, maybe they are campaigning for that.
No, I misspoke. Rookie of the year. So I feel like they have an agenda there. So I do like Jalen Williams a whole lot. He's 7,200. Yeah, Giddey is a little bit too priced up at TK for me. 8,500. If his shot's not falling, I'm a little bit worried about him. But yeah, as Goncalo says, Giddey over 14.5 rebounds, assists on Thrive Fantasy. You guys should definitely go check that out. That's a great one there. But let's talk about the big news here, Jamie. The Memphis Grizzlies, we've got basically 4 out of the 5 starters, sitting, and John Morant playing. So where are you going with that one, man? I know you said you had some notes on that one.
Yeah, it's an interesting timing as far as it is a back-to-back, but, an important game against the Clippers. So it's a little, lucky for the Clippers that they've decided to play it this way. But Santi Aldama at 4,000 is kind of a lock in cash and tournaments if JJJ sits. His minutes go from 20 to 28 a game. And he has the ceiling. A lot of times we'll look at drawing a blank on the other guy you mentioned before.
Roddy.
Roddy. Yeah, Roddy at 37.
Conchar.
Yeah, exactly. John
Conchar.
John Conchar is like a nice floor play, but he doesn't have the ceiling of Aldama. So I know Conchar's questionable. So ultimately, if he's ruled out, all the more for these two guys. But yeah, I like Aldama for 4,000, and then Roddy at 37. And then John Moran, I'd say, is like one of the more intriguing plays. He's at 9,000. His minutes have been 24, 19, and 29 since coming back. So does he somehow still stick in that range, even though all these dudes are out? Is he going to be a usage monster, or is it a little bit of a trap play at that price? So just kind of a big call to make, and could change a lot of slates, a lot of people's lineups. Depending on how that rolls. I don't really have a good read for it. They're just going to roll him out there and let him just go ham or not.
Yeah, a little bit concerning here. If this game gets out of hand, if John Morant plays a full, load of minutes, I'm not too sure, but I think you kind of have to smash him, especially at DraftKings where he's 9,000. I think you just have to kind of smash him and hope that the whole 60% to 70% of the field goes with it. And if he puts up a dud, then it doesn't bury you necessarily. A good pivot though really could go a long way, as you said, because you could pivot off of them and maybe 60% of the field goes with that, and you're one of the 40% that doesn't. And now you're just battling with 40% of the field instead of 60% of the field to take down GPP. So it's good call there. I think Santi Aldama is a lock. For me, John Morant is a lock. But I do believe that David Roddy is another guy I'm really heavily looking at here. Again, you said we're waiting on the John Conchar news. If John Conchar is ruled out, that's really more of a smash play. If Conchar is in, I'm a little bit less into that. As Game Bosses mentions here, Isaiah Jackson is starting. I think it's a mention it a few minutes ago, but if I didn't, it was in my head. So thank you for that, game losses. But yeah, Jackson's starting, so that's a good one. Arnold, any additional thoughts here on the Memphis Grizzlies, or have we kind of beaten that to the ground at this point?
Beat it to the ground. I'm just going to say Jaws smash play. I really like it. I mean, the Clippers, I've said it before, I'll say it again, fraudulent when it comes to defending point guards. He's by himself. It's the truth, man. I'm sorry. I just really like John. I like John's position.
Ooh,
and yeah,
big news.
What's going on?
Kawhi Leonard personal ruled out. So that's a big one.
That's why I was.
You gotta stop me, man. You gotta stop me, man. I thought you were gonna talk about the Clippers.
I was like,
this is a lot bigger than that. It's a lot bigger. Kawhi's gonna be. That's nice. That's nice.
So no Kawhi, no Paul George. I mean, we do have Russell Westbrook at 7,700 on DraftKings. What's his pricing on FanDuel?
Westbrook is 79.
Okay, so about the same on both sides. It's a good spot, really good spot there.
Bones Island. What kind of usage we getting?
Bones Island.
Like Terrence Mann hasn't really done it since Paul George has went down, but here is a golden opportunity.
Yeah. I want to know what Norman Powell does. I mean, we saw Kawhi and Norman Powell go back and forth when PG was just not being PG. I mean, Norman Powell can kind of come in and drop 20 any given night. Why not tonight?
Well, that's good. That's a good point, man. Because here's a guy I'm looking at on my list here that could kind of swap out for him. I've got Pat Connaughton at 4,000. With half of the Milwaukee Bucks sitting, he's 300 more. I can't quite afford him, so I'm kind of going back and forth on whether I want. Because it feels like Norm Powell has a higher ceiling than Pat Connaughton. I mean, am I right there?
Oh, you're right.
Like, someone correct me if I'm wrong.
No one will correct you.
Yeah.
Another piece of news, boys. So Jalen Brunson was just ruled in, so I really like his value.
Okay, that's cool. That's good.
Yeah. He's been out for like 6-7 games now, though. So I'm wondering if he gets a full allotment of minutes. That'd be my concern there. But that's always a concern when they're coming back. But if he does, even if he gets near that, he's probably going to be a pretty good play because he'll be priced down for sure.
75.
Okay, now I'm getting Kevin Durant's going to play. Sorry, I thought this
was an official.
Wait, Kawhi's going to play? Yeah, Kevin Durant's playing for sure. So, not really going to rule out any Devin Booker or anything like that. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to get Norman Powell in my lineup now because I think that's a really good smash play there. Anyone else on the Clippers that we're looking at besides? I know you mentioned Bones Highland, maybe a little Terrence Mann. I'm not digging those guys so much per se. I keep looking at Russell Westbrook. I don't know, man. I've been burned a lot by Russell Westbrook, so I don't know if I necessarily have to go there. Do we think he's going to be highly owned? Let me ask you that. He's going to be highly owned?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, more so with this news. Terrence Mann's 4,600. If he was small forward eligible, I could see getting him in. There's just a lot of good guard plays in that range to where I'm not gonna force jam him in there. But at 4,600, he definitely has more upside than we were expecting. Terrence Mann.
I don't know if I'm going to force Norm Powell in there either. He's been out a while as well. Let me see. How long's he been out?
This might be his first or second game back.
Yeah, his last game that he played in his game log here is the 2nd of March. So it's been 27 days, so several weeks. So I don't know, and he only played 21 minutes in that game. I don't know if he plays more than 20, 21, 22 minutes, which I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm getting too excited about him too early here.
There's a lot of guys on this slate to go outside of Norman Powell, if we're being honest. It's not like the biggest thing in the world. You don't need necessarily jump on it. But it's definitely something to look out.
I wanted to say, we should proceed with caution when we're jamming in plays at the last second. Due to breaking news, just a general philosophy, I think. Case in point, yesterday I got seduced by the Oladipo starting last minute.
Oh, yeah.
So kind of bombed some lineups, otherwise looking great. When I should have been jamming Theo Maledon. So big props to you, Keith, on that one.
I jammed both, which, Oladipo was a good play. I'm going to say that. Depot was a good play yesterday just because.
Right, good process.
Because he was so low owned. It was a good process. It was right process play. He just sucked, man. He was out there getting hurt, not really getting many shots up. So it was really unfortunate, but I still think it was a good play at the end of the day. So let's talk about the Bucks, because I don't see any new news here we have to really talk about. But the Bucks, they have Middleton, I believe doubtful, or maybe he's been ruled out already. That's right. Middleton's ruled out. Giannis is in. Drew Holiday is in. So, but we do have Ingles most likely out. Jay Crowder's already been ruled out. So any of the Bucks here that you guys are looking at? Let me start with you, Jamie. Anyone here that you're looking at that stands out to you?
So I think in general, a lot of the main Bucks,
Ingles is in, by the way. It looks like Jingles is in. Sorry, go ahead.
Jingle and Joe's in, yeah. Just a little concern with the blowout. Brooke Lopez at 7,000, he looks great. there are quite a few centers in the 7K range that I really like, which we'll get to as we bounce around. But the matchup with the Pacers is a smash spot. Does he only play 24 minutes? That, you know, he could still get you the 35, 40 DK points in that time. So I do like Lopez. I just a lot of times end up with Walker Kessler or Nick Claxton instead of him. Other than that, a lot of the value in this game I'm seeing on the Pacers side. I don't really think I'm going to be doing a lot of Giannis builds today. But Brook Lopez, I think, in this matchup, I'm going to get to a fair share.
Yeah, that's fair. What about you, Arnold?
Yeah, Brook Lopez, that was the first name I saw, and I was like, yep, that sounds pretty good, especially with no Miles Turner there. A lot of opportunity just to, get work done. But, yeah, definitely with that blowout upside, I don't know. That's something I don't really want to test entirely.
And, who's their mop-up duty guy right now, the Bucks?
Yeah.
It could be Nooro, but he's over in Indiana now. So, I know they have Beauchamp, the rookie, but you can't trust he'll get any runs. So, do they have a mop-up duty guy we want to squeeze in?
Yeah, I was looking at Connaughton,
Bobby Portis,
Bobby Portis, yeah.
But he's just way too high.
Yeah. I was looking at Connaughton. I had him actually in all my lineups here because I was like, man, they're definitely the Bucks have no interest in competing in this. And it looks like they've ruled in Jingles, which I wasn't expecting. I thought for sure, he's older, coming off a long-term injury. I was like, he's for sure just going to sit this one out. So I'm trying to frantically get Pat Connaughton out of my lineups here. I do think, I think with Giannis in, it kind of caps Bobby Portis' upside. And even Brook Lopez's upside a little bit, honestly, for me. So I'm not super into, at this point, any of these Milwaukee Bucks. I was more into them earlier before we got some of that later news. So. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm standing on it. We are still waiting on a few guys here, mainly being Joel Embiid, James Harden, and LeBron James. Those are the biggest ones there. Any thoughts on the Sixers if Embiid and Harden both sit out, or if one of them plays? I mean, what are you looking at that at there, Arnold?
Embiid. If Embiid's in, run with him. You got this guy going up against Dwight Powell, Christian Wood. This guy's going to put up.
Throw one out there.
Throw whoever you want out there, man.
I was very pleased with my B-ball Paul Reed entries just when Embiid missed this last game. So if there's no Embiid, I love getting to some Paul Reed.
Yeah, yeah. Paul Reed's definitely an amazing pivot to them. Harden's out, Maxey. I'm still okay with running with him and everything. You have to.
Price got a little high, but yeah, definitely. It's priced for Harden being out. If not, it's not usable.
Yeah. But yeah, outside of Philadelphia, I mean, if we're going to be moving over to Dallas side and everything, have Luka and Kyrie, and they should be able to just get the job done if both James Harden and Embiid definitely said so.
Grizzlies allow the fourth most points, second most rebounds, and most assists to opposing centers. Don't sleep on the Clips bigs. Tillman is out. That's a good call there, Goncalo. Appreciate that. Goncalo is one of our team members as well, helping with the assist here in the chat. I always appreciate that. Thank you very much, Goncalo. But yeah. So Tillman's out, so that makes Santiago Doma an absolute lock for me. I don't think you have to think about that one twice. But yeah, what do you guys think about the Clippers bigs? I mean, we're talking about Micah Zubac or I guess even maybe a little bit of Robert Covington and Mason Plumlee. So, Jamie, you like any of those guys?
Well, I know our boy Kenny on the DFS Today pod, who's a Clippers fan, was talking up getting to some Zubats, even getting to some Plum Dog. So I think,
love it.
That's it, baby. So I think in this situation, what makes it tough is there's so many great center plays. So if you want to use your utility spot to sneak in a Plum Dog, who I think's 37, I don't have it in front of me, but right around there, that's nice value, but you just got to make sure that the opportunity cost of playing one of those guys. I might not get to a lot of them, but yeah, I think they could be sneaky plays, both Zubats and Plum Dog.
As I'm shifting people in and out of my lineup here, I do want to mention Grayson Allen, especially on FanDuel, where he's only 5,000. On the Milwaukee Bucks, we kind of passed over the Bucks, and I don't think I mentioned him, but he is a very decent play with Middleton out. Anytime Middleton is out, he ends up getting a few more shots coming his way. So I would definitely consider him on FanDuel. I'm not sure if I'm super into him on DraftKings. I think his price is like 5,800 or something like that.
I'd rather get to Luke Kennard or something in that range.
Yeah. That's a good one. Kennard or Grayson Allen. Yeah, I guess I'd probably go with Kennard just because everyone being out. That's probably true. So, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough there. I don't know if we have, let's see, go check here. Rui Hachimura's in, Jalen Brunson's in. We already spoke about that. Nothing really that important there. So I think just the biggest thing so far is Kawhi being out. So if you did have him in there, obviously get him out of your lineups. We did mention that Isaiah Jackson's starting. It's an interesting lineup here. They got Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, Neesmith, Nwora, and Isaiah Jackson starting, which is always interesting lineup there. Any thoughts on any other Pacers besides the bigs? Any of those backcourt guys that you're looking at there, Arnold, like Nembhard or McConnell?
Yeah, I like Nembhard. I like Nembhard for his like scoring upside. The thing is, you went against Drew, and Drew doesn't allow a lot of scoring. So I would probably put TJ a little. I like TJ. Don't like TJ as much as I like Nembhard, but in this certain situation, I'd rather have TJ. Just gets a lot of stats. He gets the rebounds, gets the assists, gets the offense going. Second unit guy. And if for any reason this is a blowout and Indiana doesn't want to run their starting lineup, which looks like the backup lineup, put in TJ.
Yeah, he's solid, man. Every time he gets minutes, he always produces. I always sleep on this guy, and he always bites me for that. But Jamie, any thoughts on the backcourt there? I mean, obviously no Halliburton, so there's some usage to go around.
Well, I think in tournaments, you do got to consider Benedict Mathurin. His last time out, he put up a pretty tasty line. He's still at 5,600 on DK. So he's tempting. I'm going to be getting to more Abaji than him, and those are kind of two dudes you're going to be jamming into similar spots and similar builds because they're the exact same price. But, if I have 4 lineups, one of them is going to have Mathurin over Abaji.
So we got a question here. Killian, TJ, Batum, and Eric Gordon for last minute stream. I'm guessing they want one of these guys to stream last minute. Let me see. I'm trying to think here. Eric Gordon kind of stands out for me, honestly. Honestly, of this grouping, with the Clippers having no Kawhi or Paul George last minute, I feel like he's going to have a lot more usage coming his way, a lot of shots here. He's actually a really interesting guy to look at. And for DFS purposes as well, I think he's we kind of glossed over him, but he's also an interesting guy, I think, to look at. But what were you going to say, Jamie?
Was it Killian Hayes and TJ McConnell?
Yeah, Killian, yeah. TJ McConnell and Batum, yeah.
What's Killian right at 6,600? I feel like so many people are off of him, and the OKC, I refer to them
Killian's
as
interesting too. Yeah.
He is interesting in that matchup. I mean, the Zombies matchup last night ballooned. What was it, 137, 134 with the Hornets winning? So getting to some Killian, he could easily go 45 DK points, and no one's talking about him right now.
What's your answer there, Arnold?
Killian. I 100% agree with that. Killian. Over the rest of the guys and everything, I'd rather have Killian just for his upside. His upside is just massive. Puts a lot of blood.
Let's see, 5,200 left. Here, I'm going to put this up here. 5,200 left on looks like DraftKings. Nwora, Batum. I probably go with Batum. I don't trust Nwora against the Milwaukee Bucks defense. I know they're missing a few guys, missing Middleton really. At this point, most of them are playing at this point. So their defense is just really strong. So I think I'm going to go lean Batum there. What are your thoughts there, Arnold?
I'm looking at the other guys that are around the 5,200 range. I've had to choose. I would definitely go Batum. But you do have a couple of the guys below 52. You have Vanderbilt there. You still have
Don't be afraid to leave some money at the table. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You got to leave money there. You're never always going to get the perfect lineup. If you're going to leave money behind, leave money behind. Run with your guys,
Well, wait a minute. Why is this guy? Hold on. Let me jump in here. Why are you overlooking Nasir Little? Go with Nasir Little there, Game Blossom. I'm telling you right now.
He got 20 minutes. That last game, man, like they're getting blown out and they're tanking. And some reason they play Nasir Little 20 minutes. Like you can tank with Nasir Little getting 32 minutes. I don't know if someone can tell Chauncey Billups that.
Well, he just had a huge game. What was it? 2 games ago. He just what did he score? Like 30 points or something like that.
36 DK points, and they still lost. So I just thought they're taking it to another level. They rolled out some dude named Butler Jr. who went undrafted and had a single rebound in 15 minutes. At least let the DFS player enjoy the tank.
No, I've gotten I had him in my lineup. I actually swapped off of him, but I had him in my lineup. Though I think you have a good point there. You can absolutely tank still with Nasir Little in your lineup. Absolutely, totally legit thought process there. But yeah, no Trendon Watford, no Nurkic. I mean, someone's got to play these front court minutes for them. And I'm looking at their who's available for them. I mean, they got Eubanks, but who's going to play power forward? I mean, if Watford's ruled out. He's doubtful. So
I think
what do you think there?
Jabari Walker is going to have a game out of nowhere where he gets you 32 DK points. I don't think I'm going to anticipate when it is. I'll probably just roll him out there the next game. But hey, if you want to be the person to nail that, just like people were able to with Maladon yesterday, feel free. But as far as Portland and usage, I think the safest bet, even at 5K, is still Keon Johnson, especially in cash. But I got Keon in quite a few lineups today, both sides.
Yeah, he's very decent. Any thoughts on the Portland's crap show there, Arnold?
Yeah, the more you talk about Naz Little, the more I think about last year. And last year, Naz, he kind of like went crazy for me. I had him in my fantasy lineup, went towards championship, and I had him, and he did really good the last couple of weeks because all they were doing was just trying to blow up the process, Got to run Naz Little eventually, and he does take the ball up a couple times. Of what I've seen in there, he takes the ball up, he gets the ball in his hands, he does a little bit of the playmaking. I mean, I can't say his last name, the point guard, Ryan.
Archie Giacomo? Oh, come on, Archie!
Yeah,
come on, my boy!
Can't say that guy's name, man. I'm not gonna assume that he's gonna be the
okay.
best point guard in the league, but they're gonna give these guys opportunities. And Naz is one of the guys like over the years has seen the opportunities towards the late ends of the season, and that's how he gets his contracts. So,
Buddy Hield officially out, by the way. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, Buddy Hield's up.
Yeah, Buddy Hield is officially out. I think he was doubtful or questionable at least. But he's officially been ruled out with a non-COVID illness. So, I mean, I think that's, we talked about Nembhard and McConnell. I think that just really helps them a little bit more solidify their value, but doesn't really move the needle a whole lot for me. I don't think I'm really on any patience except for Isaiah Jackson. So, a little wary of that going, the blowout route. I think Isaiah Jackson's safe if that happens. I think you mentioned McConnell might play a little bit more if it's a blowout. I mean, I might lean more Nembhard in that case, but I don't know. I really
let the younger guy take it.
Yeah, but since I don't know, I'm probably just going to stay away, honestly. So that's how I'll handle it, at least. Any other? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say same vibes coming out of Portland.
Yeah,
like Indiana, same vibes. So gonna try my best to stay away from them.
It's tough to figure out what's going on in Portland. I think it's a solid call, Keon Johnson, though, Jamie. He's been really good. I think they have a lot of – I've said this a couple times the last couple of sites is they have a lot of incentive to really try this guy out. He's a highly athletic, defensive, pretty decent player, young player, getting a second chance here in Portland. So I like him a lot as a safe play, like you said, for cash. I don't think he's – he could crap the bed, I think, but I think he's pretty safe because he's going to get 35 minutes. So
I comped him to a young Eric Bledsoe coming out, so I think that's what you're hoping to get. Some like Eric Bledsoe light numbers when he was so relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so LeBron James obviously still questionable. I believe. I mean, what do you think? I mean, you're our Lakers guy, Arnold. Is he playing tonight?
He's in. He's in it for the win. No, he has to play this game. You can't lose to Chicago again. I mean, if we're being honest, man, like the Lakers need a lot of good things to happen, and one of the things being winning. And then you got to have the Timberwolves lose. You have to have the Thunder lose. You have to have the Mavericks lose. You have to have the Jazz lose, the Clippers lose. But the first thing is to get the win. And LeBron needs to come in and just do what he's got to do to get this win. And I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be a close one this one. But LeBron should be able to win.
Returning to the lineup, so they are both in. So
nice.
Embiid and James Harden are both in. I believe you said Embiid was going to play Arnold. So yeah, if you guys have them out there, I'm not going to mess with it too much at this point because that's a big salary to fit in. I don't think I could fit them even if I wanted to. So I'm not going to go with that. But if you had a plan for getting Embiid in your lineups, I think it's a good call there.
If you play tiers on DK, like I had some tiers on Embiid one, that's a nice one. I have to change that around. So check your tiers lineups. I had Dennis Smith Jr. as my last playing some yesterday, and that 4-minute rule out, I didn't catch it. So
Terrence Mann is starting for Kawhi, but it's hard to judge. That guy's so up and down. He's so up and down. Yeah, Terrence Mann. He's starting for Kawhi Leonard. So up and down though. I'm not so. I think he's fine in a GPP. I think you can roll him out there. I think he's 4 something on DK. What's his price? 4.6. Yeah. That's pretty good. I mean, he's probably going to get 30 minutes here. So I'm not going to struggle to get him in my lineups here, but I think that's a decent play if you're in a GPP. What's his price on FanDuel, Arnold?
Terrence Mann is. Let me get to it.
No worries. But yeah, I think 49. 49. Okay. So yeah, I think he's a decent play on both sides. I'm not smash play for me. There are times where he just gets out there, just it's cardio. So I'm not super sold on it, but there you go.
Athletic
but
cardio,
guys, what's that?
Athletic cardio though. He always looks athletic and spry.
He is very athletic.
Yeah.
All right, guys. But we are about 20 seconds here from lock, so I don't think we're gonna get any new stuff here. I think we're gonna stick around here for a few more minutes after, just to see some ownership on some guys that we've been calling out during this show. I'm curious to see guys like John Morant what their ownership is, so we will stick around a little bit longer. But do like and subscribe. If you are liking the show, you want us to do this more, hit that subscribe button. You'll get notified every single time we go live, which is absolutely key if you want to stay on top of this stuff. If you guys don't have the DFS pass, go to sportsethos.com, get the DFS pass. You get to talk to guys like Arnold, Jamie, me about this stuff. We're getting some more chatter in that Discord, so I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. Keep that going, guys. We are past lock now. So let's just go ahead and if you guys want to load up your contests and see if you can give me some ownership on some of the guys we've been targeting here. I'm always just curious to see how that goes.
I know, me too. See what we got.
I mean, obviously it's only going to be the early game guys, so we're not going to get every single person here, but we should get this here momentarily. I don't think when was Jaws game starting? I think it was a 7:00 game, if I remember correctly. Which is Central, by the way. I'm Central time zone. Let's see. DraftKings is taking its sweet time, but looks like I do have some FanDuel here.
Yeah, DraftKings.
So Grayson Allen only 1.7% owned. That's interesting. I also have Jalen Smith in my lineups here, 4% owned. These are GPPs, but 4% owned and 1%. I'm liking that for my GPPs. I'll tell you that right now.
4% is nice.
Yeah, that low ownership might come in clutch here. Of course, both those guys could just crap the bed. I think Grayson Allen's a pretty safe play, though, honestly. So I'm pretty surprised at 1.7% for him. Any guys you guys have been able to pull up just yet?
Taking a look at everything.
Yeah, DraftKings is moving slow, but I'm pulling up lineups.
Isaiah Jackson, only 12.5% owned in the GPP I've been able to pull up here in DraftKings. Wow, that's pretty low, too. I would assume he'd been more in like the at least 30% range, honestly. That's interesting to me.
I didn't mention this during the show, but I'm really heavy on Bridges. I'm heavy on Nick Claxton, and a little bit of Jalen Green on the other side. So I'm waiting for that to hit. So I actually didn't end up getting to any Isaiah Jackson, which is crazy.
Sorry.
So I built around some other centers.
Well, I think, there's a lot of centers here. I think a lot of people are probably going to have Kessler then if there's no Isaiah Jackson. I think Kessler will be highly owned, which makes sense. He was a guy I had in early builds, but I went a different direction at some point. So, but I think that'll be a highly owned guy. And Santi Aldama also is a center qualified player on DraftKings, so that might be one of the reasons that Isaiah Jackson's so lowly owned. But hopefully it works out for me. Any other guys you guys have been able to pull up before we end this thing?
Ownership-wise, no, I don't have anything else over here as far as ownership.
All right.
But just if you want to talk about a couple other guys, if you guys want to run a couple like later stuff, and maybe down the line you see like 2 games. Let's see.
Talk about some late swap stuff. Yeah, absolutely. What do you got for later games? I actually don't have a whole lot in later games. I know we talked about Portland a little bit with Nas Little, but I don't have a whole lot of plays in later games. So talk to me about it.
Yeah, when it comes to the Portland game, I mean, you're going against Sacramento, one of the highest scoring offenses. This is not a defensive team when it comes to Trailblazers. So, the Kings are going to put the score. There is obviously that blowout upside. If for any reason it is going to be competitive, you should be able to pop in De'Aaron Fox. He's at 8.2 here on DraftKings. I'm sure he's probably a little bit higher on FanDuel, but De'Aaron Fox should be a pretty good play if for any reason it does stay competitive. I wouldn't take the risk on that necessarily, but you never know. Another thing I did want to mention, Sabonis. And if you guys do see any Thrive plays for Sabonis, most of the time they end up being like PRA. Always hit it. Always go over. It's always going to be a good play when you go PRA when it comes to Sabonis. So that's just one thing I did want to mention. If you guys doing any late stuff. Yeah, 100%. I use Price Picks sometimes, and Price Picks, that's a freaking lock for me every single time. PRA or just RA, just always locks. He's always so close to that triple-double, so it's so good. As far as the other games, we have Minnesota and Phoenix with Kevin Durant coming back, Anthony Edwards getting back into it, but now we have Karl Anthony Townsend, now we have Rudy Gobert. I feel like this game's going to be fun. I feel like it's going to be a really fun game. Yeah. It's going to be a really fun game, and I think you're going to get a classic performance from Kevin Durant, maybe probably like 20 points. It probably only goes in the game for 25 minutes, but still going to get you that 20 points, and then you have Devin Booker and Chris Paul to clean it up towards the end of the game and everything. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. If they both could lose, that'd be great. but can't have that.
I like that. I like that De'Aaron Fox call. I actually have him on FanDuel. Again,
Yeah.
play GPPs. I play the smaller field GPPs at this point. I just put several lineups out there, but I do have De'Aaron Fox in a couple of my lineups, and I feel that play for sure. Any late games, guys, you're looking at there, Jamie?
I do want to give a quick prop shout out to Karl Anthony Towns. Last night, his points prop was still at 17.5. It's up to 18.5 now.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, with Gobert guarding Aiden, I think Cat could go for 45 plus DK points tonight, easily go for 20 real points. He was 5 for 14 the other day and still had, I think, 15, 16 right around there. So I was smashing that as a single prop. And at 8,000, he's still really interesting. Same thing with Fox. Hopefully he can get enough done against the Blazers early on to make his 82 salary worth it. But definitely got him some tournaments.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love it. Go ahead.
A prop that I like with Cat is his turnovers. Been hitting.
Oh,
I really like. Yeah. It's a sneaky prop because you don't really expect the guy to really turn the ball over a lot, but this guy doesn't have the hand.
Oh no, he does. He tries
gets the ball
to
in
do too
his
much. He tries to do too much.
So I really like that one. There's a couple other turnover guys that I like using, but I think Cat's probably one of them. Luka, which if there's a Luka one, smash it today, get it, because they're going against this freaking.
I've never even thought. Do you ever put any of that out on Twitter? A little bit of your turnover prop research for the people?
Never.
Get
it
out there, man. I'll retweet you.
There's a void. There's a void to be filled, Arnold, and you could be the turnover prop guy.
Well, I'll tell you guys that one of the biggest angles for turnover props is if there's a big public play, like for instance tonight, John Morant would have been a great over turnover props that guy, because everyone's going to be on his points over. He's going to have a ton of usage. Everyone's going to be like, oh man, this guy's going to smash it. But what people don't bet on is turnovers. But he's going to have the ball in his hand a lot, so he'll probably have an extra turnover or two. So there's a really good chance that his over for turnovers hits. So. That's kind of my 2 cents about the turnover piece. But yeah, if you have that research, man, if you have something that people are going to want to see, don't be shy. Get it out there. Let's share it with the people, man. We do have a wager pass on sportsethos.com as well, which you guys should definitely sign up for.
Definitely. There's a lot of content.
Keith, maybe you and I could circle back for a couple minutes at some point. I wanted to catch up on some of this stuff we talked about earlier, as far as getting myself going on the on the whatchamacallit that you referenced in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. But for the meantime, guys, that's going to do it for our lineup lock show, though. We are going to go ahead and end the stream at this point. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, please do like and subscribe, and we will hit you again at some point this week, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Whenever it works with my schedule. But we will let you guys know. Follow us all on Twitter. You see our Twitter handles there. So Jamie, Arnold, thank you so much. Until next time, guys, go get that money.
Get it.
Let's go.